In today's video, we are going to talk about the requirements for FDA approval on over-the-counter hearing aids. Welcome, my name is Emily. I am hard of hearing. I have a moderate to severe hearing loss. Recently on my channel, I've been reviewing some over-the-counter or OTC hearing aid devices. Reviewing these devices has made me wonder, what are the actual FDA requirements for an over-the-counter hearing aid? So I thought I would make this video today. I think you're gonna get something out of this video. Go ahead and hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I look forward to making more great content for you. All right, so we're going to begin by breaking down the requirements that OTC hearing aid manufacturers must meet to create or have FDA approved over-the-counter hearing aid devices. First and foremost, OTC devices must adhere to stringent safety standards to ensure that these hearing devices do not pose any sort of safety risk to users. I found that these safety standards are really quite all-encompassing. They're unique and they're very important. These safety standards have to do with the materials that are used, electrical safety, and they have to overall be compatible with the human ear. This is really important because over-the-counter hearing aid devices are going into people's ears. It's important that manufacturers are using the right products that will not cause allergic reactions and ensure that electrical components work properly. Again, because if something goes wrong, that could be bad. In order to get FDA approval, manufacturers have to show evidence of their compliance with these standards via thorough testing. In addition to meeting these safety requirements of the build, physical aspects of the hearing devices, manufacturers must also show that these OTC or over-the-counter hearing aid devices meet efficacy standards. This means that they must meet standards to actually assist people with their hearing losses. This means that manufacturers must show the FDA that the devices do understand that someone has a hearing loss and addresses that appropriately or accordingly, especially with regards to the user's needs for amplification. And ideally, these devices help them understand speech and sounds better. I have to say, I'm really grateful that the FDA is requiring that over-the-counter hearing aids meet these requirements. They're not just physically safe to be in the ear, but that they actually assist people with their hearing loss problem. In order to receive FDA approval for their devices, manufacturers must show proof, whether it's a clinical trial or study, some kind of evidence to the FDA of the fact that their devices meet the FDA's efficacy standards. The next item that's really important to receive FDA approval is that devices are properly labeled. This includes that they come with easy to understand instructions for implementation to address the user's hearing loss. They must provide clear and accurate information about the device, its intended use, and any potential risk factors from using the device. I have to say, with some of the brands that I have worked with, I have noticed that they have these disclaimers and informational packets saying that if you notice that this device does not help you hear or understand better, you may need to go see an audiologist because your hearing loss is outside of the mild to moderate threshold that the devices are designed to assist. So, for example, my hearing loss is moderate to severe. Moderate in my left ear, severe in my right, and I've definitely noticed that some of the OTC devices don't assist me as much in my right ear. So those FDA disclaimers are important because a person like myself using a device like that long term, I would be at risk for cognitive decline because I'm not receiving the sound and auditory information that my brain would need from my right ear, just due to the severity of my loss. So that's really important that the FDA is regulating these over-the-counter devices because a lot of people just look at specs and whether they like it or dislike it, but they don't consider the risks of using a device, though it may be used properly or with good intent, there still may be underlying risks due to their loss and things like that. So labeling, proper labeling is really important under the FDA OTC hearing aid standards. So proper labeling is a really important factor of receiving FDA approval for an over-the-counter hearing aid device. Another important of FDA approval for over-the-counter hearing aid manufacturers is that they must follow GMP or Good Manufacturing Practices guidelines. Following these GMP practices ensures reliability and consistency along the manufacturing process. So if a company makes one device that is good, it should be able to be replicated through all the devices that they make. If not, this GMP process should be able to pinpoint the problem and take care of that accordingly. Following GMP guidelines ensures that over-the-counter hearing aid manufacturers are conducting regular tests and that they are maintaining proper quality throughout the beginning to the end of their hearing aid manufacturing processes. Proper documentation of this manufacturing process is critical to understand where all the parts and components are coming from to create the hearing aid so that it ultimately is a good product for the end user. The last item, in order for OTC hearing aid manufacturers to receive FDA approval on their devices, is to be able to, when the devices are completely made, manufactured, ready to go, is that these devices, when they're being used by the user, can receive post-market surveillance. This means that there is a monitoring of the devices that are sold and what happens to those devices. Do they continue to function properly? And if not, why are they not functioning properly? What's the issue that needs to get fixed? So the FDA is really big on making sure that devices are created properly and properly offered to the consumer. And then when the consumer uses it, the expectations are met. So in the case of an unfortunate or adverse event, say there was an electrical failure in a particular model of a over-the-counter hearing aid, so the FDA can step in, know what brand needs to reconcile it, and give them guidance as to fix it and protect future consumers until the problem is solved. So there are the requirements that over-the-counter hearing aid manufacturers need to meet as set by the Food and Drug Administration of the United States of America. So there are the requirements for over-the-counter hearing aid companies and manufacturers as set by the Food and Drug Administration of the United States. OTC manufacturers that meet these requirements can receive FDA approval and sell and market their devices as over-the-counter hearing aid devices fit for adults in the United States with mild to moderate hearing losses. The allowance of over-the-counter hearing devices has greatly improved access to hearing devices across America, and it has been great to see this market come on and be available to so many consumers. What do you think about these FDA requirements? Do you think they're appropriate? Do you think there's anything that was left out? If so, I would love to hear in the comments below. I'm sure you got something out of this video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate your support and look forward to making more great hearing loss related content for you. Have a great day. Bye.